Good morning, Virgo. Welcome back to my channel, Spirit and I Incorporated. It's a pleasure to be back. I had taken a few months to hone my skills with my astrology studies and my spiritual studies. And to say the least, it's been quite a journey, as there are many layers with respect to both topic matters. If you'd like further detail on a little bit of what I came through my discovery, please feel free to look at the community section on my channel on that page, and I will provide a little bit further update. But I just wanted to clarify where I've been. I have returned. I'm thrilled to be back, and it's a pleasure connecting with all of you Virgos out there in the world. So I'd like to commence this forecast by letting you know that this first half of August 2023 commences with the full moon in Aquarius, which happened on August 1st at 2:31 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. And certainly adjust your clocks to the different locations of where you are in the world to accommodate this forecast. Again, this is for the first half of August 2023, and this is for the sign of Virgo. So Virgo, we commence this forecast firstly with the astrology portion, and then I will move forward into the oracle and tarot to close out the forecast. And for you, Virgo, the full moon happened in your 6th house, and the 6th house has to do with your physical health, your day-to-day routine. For those of you still in the employment arena, it also has to do with your work, your daily work, and the service that you provide, and how you interact with your co-workers. And that full moon at 9 degrees has opposed, or was opposing, the moon has since moved on a couple of degrees, but it is still very active in its energy. And that full moon at 9 degrees falling in your 6th house had opposed, and still may very well be opposing, the sun in your 12th house. And the 12th house is the area that rules the subconscious mind, like secrets, things from behind the scenes. It even rules large animals, for that matter. And the energy that I am intuiting through this particular placement for you, Virgo, and I am forecasting generally. These are not detailed for each natal sign, as I don't have the birth details to do that with. So this overview is a general synopsis for all Virgos, and certainly take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But generally speaking, with that full moon falling in your 6th house, the full moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees and opposing the sun in your 12th, would suggest to me intuitively that there, perhaps has been some opposition with respect to the arena of these house energies, again having to do with perhaps even your physical health, what your routine has been throughout your days, and how perhaps you're needing to expand that or change that, feeling it subconsciously to expand in a healthier capacity is how I'm intuiting this, with the sun being in the 12th house. And perhaps there's been some challenges in doing so, and that's life. I mean, this plane that we walk on, this earthly plane, is far from the easiest, but really it's how we navigate through it that can determine the outcome. And that's not to say that there aren't difficulties, but it is to say, for those of us that have the freedom, the privilege of having the freedom to still make our own decisions to a large degree in our personal and, hopefully in our professional realms as well, is that we come from a place of peace, to use the piece of compass, let that be the compass to navigate our energies. And that's what I would suggest with this opposition. Perhaps it's just, you've had some overwhelming times, and oftentimes there are other energies that come in from the outside that infiltrate our lives, And again, the message is, how are you going to navigate through that? And you have support in doing so, not only in your own forms of divination, whichever label you wish to place on that, whether you use the term God or your guides or your spiritual ancestors, those that are there to help you from behind the scenes, which is very much 12th house, connecting, through meditative forms of prayer and affirmation, how best to be guided forward, to have a peaceful resolve in the areas of concern that you have, where this full moon is currently or has been transiting and the energies are still playing out, which again has to do with your 6th house of service, your well-being, your physical well-being, and your daily routine. Now, you have support in your 2nd house with Mars, the planet of action. Mars in its higher octave can be used in a very positive fashion. You have that in your 2nd house, and the 2nd house has to do with what you personally value, your material resources, your possessions, your physical senses, your talents, your self-worth. That's what the 2nd house here is associated with. And you have Mars and Mercury, the planet of communication, in this particular house. And just to give you a little, astrology 101, there are 12 houses in the astrological wheel, and each house represents a sign of the zodiac. So for you, Virgo, Mars is the planet of action, and in its positive usage, faith-driven action, is falling in your 2nd house, as I mentioned, of personal values, your material resources, money, and you have Mercury there, the planet of communication as well. And this is creating a beautiful trine. Trines are harmonious aspects with Jupiter at 13 degrees. 13 degrees Jupiter and 13 degrees Mars. And that 2nd house is connecting with your 9th house, and the 9th house has to do with long distance travel, foreign affairs, higher learnings, spirituality, spiritual philosophy, religion, even for those that engage in religion. The 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, and Jupiter, the planet that rules Sagittarius, is at 13 degrees, harmoniously connecting with the planet Mars in your 2nd house. This would suggest to me that I believe it would be very healing to perhaps, some of you are taking a trip. Some of you are feeling the need to connect with your higher spiritual selves, to help navigate any oppositions you might be feeling between that 6th and that 12th house that I mentioned previously. Some of you may very well be publishing. The 9th house also has to do with publishing. Others of you are, as I mentioned, taking positive faith-driven action in expressing your most inner self, coming from a place of peace and love and spirituality, and understanding how that is a powerful force in your life to maintain a sense of balance. Perhaps for those of you that are traveling, this would be a really good time to engage in not only the traveling aspect, but also being that Venus, which is the planet of love and money, and the fact that it is currently retrograde, meaning that it is, elusive in that it's traveling backwards. It can bring up, feelings of past love, what you felt when you fell in love. And perhaps this trip that some of you are taking will help you to reconnect with that love. It's very positive, very harmonious, very strong, and very supportive. And that's how I'm intuitively perceiving this aspect between your 2nd house of resources and applying your resources in a fashion that perhaps will provide you an opportunity to reconnect not only with your spiritual self, but your higher loving self, and perhaps the trip that you're about to take will help you to do so. This is not going to be for all Virgos, but it may apply for some. Now, with respect to Venus, which is the planet of love and money, and it has been traveling retrograde, meaning it's having an elusive energy of moving backwards. It will bring up past scenarios of love, past scenarios of investments and finances, and where they are and how they're progressing or not. Perhaps they've slowed down a little bit, or they're at a standstill. They will move forward again if this has to do with, finances in the 3D realm. You're monitoring that, and that's a very positive thing to do. Absolutely. And wise, because as we have Jupiter at 13 degrees in your 9th house of publishing, marketing, long-distance travel, foreign affairs, higher spirituality, higher education, connecting with your 2nd house of resources, where you have Mars, the planet of action, used in its positive fashion, faith-driven action. That's the place you want to come from, perhaps to expand your resources. That's also an opportunity to expand in your areas of investments, to inflate your resources. This is perhaps something that some of you Virgos are looking at as well. And you're being harmoniously supported in doing so. And it would be my suggestion to stay focused on that, regardless of how things may look at this time, if they are feeling challenging, because you do have, not just you, but all of the zodiacs right now are having a hard angle between Uranus, the planet of Uranus, which is the wild card. It brings on sudden surprises and sudden change. That's also sitting in your 9th house, and it's very powerful. It's at 22 degrees, and it has a hard 90-degree angle with the planet of Mercury, which is the planet of communication. And it is to suggest that whatever challenging issues may be coming up communicatively and or with how you're feeling deepest within yourself regarding concerns that you have within that 9th house area of higher learning, higher understanding, perhaps a trip you're feeling might be, thwarted with challenges. If I may suggest, try to not give power to that energy, because it is a hard energy. It's a challenging energy, that square, that 90-degree angle. I would encourage you to stay focused on what you're wanting to create and not what you're not wanting. In other words, stay focused on what you want as opposed to what you don't want. Put the energy where it is positively best used, would be my suggestion. Otherwise, the concern is getting caught up in that challenging energy, and that can be extremely volatile, especially when it has to do with communications, and how you're feeling about certain aspects within your own arena of yourself, your life. That would be your 1st house, where you have communication in right now, and the planet of action, Mars. And Mars, used in its lower octave, can create war. So you definitely don't want to come from a place of volatility. Stay in your peace. Use that beautiful Jupiterian harmonious trine angle and aspect connected with Mars to stay in a place of peace and take positive action, as opposed to, falling prey to any negative energies. So I did want to express that. You also have Neptune. Neptune is in your 7th house, which is beautiful. That's the house of relationships, and bonded relationships at that, with respect to marriage, business partners. It can also, lend to concerns of competition, but it's a very, very strong house for one-to-one relationships and bonded relationships at that, with respect to marriage, marital partners, business partners. You have that sitting in your 7th house. 7th house is relationships, the planet of Neptune. And again, Neptune used in its higher octave, connecting with your 6th house of well-being, which is where that full moon in Aquarius is, there's a beautiful sextile. And a sextile is a harmonious aspect. It's not as strong as the trine like we have between Jupiter and Mars, but it is present, and it is providing you that energy to look at your sixth house, your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, and how that's connecting with your relationships, and wanting to heal perhaps avenues within your bonded relationships that require healing. And I really believe that Jupiter and that beautiful harmonious trine sitting in your ninth house of travel and connecting with your first house, which has to do with the self, and connecting that with Neptune and Pluto, what's deep within yourself, and straddling where the moon is there in your sixth house, that will help you to stay focused on the positive. So you have two positive aspects here that will help you thwart anything that could be challenging, that could come up all of a sudden. That's what Uranus does. It brings things up all of a sudden, the unexpected wild card. It can be disruptive. It can be beautiful. It's totally up to you how you choose to use the energy. Do you choose to focus on the challenge and what's upsetting, or do you choose to turn it around and make something good come out of it? That's the choice. Free will, as a free agent, you have free will. So intuitively, if I may suggest, stay in your peace and keep your communications coming from a loving place and in a positive fashion, because you have two glorious aspects supporting that. So I just wanted to put that out there, because Pluto, the planet that goes into the depths of our souls, is straddling your sixth house and your fifth house. And the fifth house has to do with entertainment and joy and romance and even children. And it's straddling that sixth house of your well-being. So it is supported, that sextile between Neptune and its higher octave of spirituality is supporting Pluto and that full moon in Aquarius, that should anything come up that is of concern to you, turn it over to your higher self, turn it over to God, turn it over to that source of divination that provides you with uplifting and healing, and asking God, or whichever label you wish to use, to take care of the matter for you. Don't fight the battle. There are some battles that are not meant for us to fight. There are some battles that we are supposed to leave alone and let God settle the account. So that is the suggestion here from a spiritual, intuitive view, as I do read through, spirit and the eye of spirit. So that is what I have for the astrology portion of this forecast. Now let's move on to the oracle cards, and I'm going to start with the Animal Spirit Oracle deck, and then I will provide some details through the Rider-Waite Tarot, and we will close out this forecast. And again, this is for Virgo for the first half of August, for 2023. Thank you again for joining me, all of you Virgoans that are tuning in. It's really nice to be back and working on my channel, and I just needed to take a step back and hone my skills, and I'm very thankful that I did, because it allowed me additional quiet time to connect with God and to connect with Scripture and to connect with the spirit within, and how that is associated with the energies of the planets in the universe, as God created everything that is in the universe, including the stars and the planets and the moon and the sun, the luminaries. And I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to do so. There are many, many layers. It's a journey of never-ending learning, but I felt ready and inspired to return to the channel to start providing forecasts again. It came out of the blue that I took a step back, but I'm thankful that I did, and thankful to be back. So I do hope that the forecasts that I'm providing provide clear and concise messages. I do apologize if sometimes they are aspects that are a little convoluted. Can be challenging sometimes to interpret, but I do hope that for many of you Virgos, that the forecasts resonate and that you take the good from it and what resonates, and leave the rest, and move forward in love and in peace and in upliftment and in joy, because that's what life is all about, especially for those of us that are very, very blessed to not have the many, many challenges that many around the world in different parts of the world are currently being oppressed by. So that being said, and without further ado, Virgo, let's take a look at your forecast here. Again, this is for the first half of August 2023 for Virgo. Starting off with the Spirit Animal Oracle. The first card that we have out is the Starfish. And the Starfish speaks of being open to the infinite possibilities. It's a beautiful, beautiful oracle. I do hope you can see it. I don't have a great camera. I'm using my webcam, so I apologize if it's coming out a little bit grainy, but at some point I will get a professional camera where the forecast will be a lot visually clearer. Moving forward, this is the Starfish. Now, it did come up in the reverse, and with your first card out, some of the energies right now, Virgo, for some of you Virgoans perhaps are feeling that, you know, you're really not quite sure of what those infinite possibilities are, but you are remaining in peace, or you're attempting to, and you're looking forward to the new possibilities in doing so, and having those new possibilities unfold and manifest in your life. And that's how I'm intuitively picking up the energy of this oracle. Moving forward, we have the Antelope Spirit of how life is speeding up. So there could be, for some of you Virgoans, some of you are moving forward very quickly with avenues you wish to pursue. Perhaps you want to speed up the infinite possibilities that are feeling delayed. You know, you have some sort of an idea of what that is for you, and you know, with the card having had come up in the reverse when I pulled it from the deck, you know, you're perhaps feeling that there's, you know, been delays in what you've desired of those, you know, infinite possibilities for your life, and you're wanting to speed those along, but you need to trust that God knows the best timing for your harvest of whatever that means to you. You know, there are times when, you know, we think that taking all the action in the world is going to be the best thing to do because we're feeling pressure to do so, or we're feeling the need within ourselves to do so because we feel the need to, you know, save something or someone, or change something or someone. And, you know, you're wanting to speed that process up. And it is suggesting to me intuitively that, as the numerical number 2 as well would be indicative of, you know, balancing. I envision the 2 of Pentacles right now, which is the balancing act in the tarot. Balancing your resources, balancing your investments, balancing your energies. You know, don't speed up that process. Allow the delay, because it's a protection mechanism, and it's something that is being handed to you through the universe. So whatever delays there may be, just roll with them, and it will take that pressure off for you to, you know, feel like you have to change something and change it quickly. There's no need to do that. If you follow your instincts and follow your intuition, most importantly, that's that deep inner voice, you will be guided at the appropriate time, and that time will be a proper harvest for you. So please bear this in mind as you move forward and through these energies. Moving forward, third card out, we have the Brown Bear Spirit, and it came out in the upright, and it is speaking of taking some time out. So once again, it's saying, you know, no need to force anything, no need to speed up any process. Allow the delays to unfold, because whatever those delays are, they're providing you with something to learn, something to understand, or someone to understand. And the energies are, you know, a little slow moving right now, but they will unfold in their rightful time. And so this is suggesting to take some time to meditate, take some time to pray, take some time to be still, and to know that God is in charge. God is in charge. So take that time out. And that's what the brown bear spirit is speaking of. It's also showing the numerical number of the number 9, which again is that 9th house that we spoke of astrologically in the aforementioned. The 9th house has to do with travel, publishing, marketing, foreign affairs, higher spiritual value, higher spiritual education, connecting with the spiritual realm, prayer, meditation. And the brown bear is the hermit in the traditional tarot. The hermit takes time out to let the lantern of light light his way or her way. These are not generic specific. It's the energy that we're speaking upon. So take that time to meditate. Take this time to be still. Enjoy the time that you're traveling, and for those of you that are traveling or in a position to do so, and connect with yourself and with your higher spiritual self. And this will help you, that energy will help you to move forward in a loving and peaceful fashion, with not only within yourself, but with others, specifically to do within your relationships, as we mentioned, where the full moon has fallen, but in your 6th house. And then you have, the Neptune sextile with Pluto in your 7th and your 5th and 6th house. Very important time to enjoy this energy. And just be still. Be still and know that that which concerns you will unfold and unfold peacefully and beautifully and lovingly and in a healing fashion, all in its rightful time. No need to force it, no need to challenge it, just let it be. So I'm going to get some clarification now through the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And again, this is for Virgo. For those of you that are resonating or that are enjoying the forecast, which I hope many of you are, I would deeply appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe to the video. It does help my videos to circulate, to reach others that are, perhaps looking for the messages that I provide. And it does help the channel to grow, and I would profoundly appreciate the assistance. And thanking you in advance for all of those who will engage and participate in doing so. And remember, these are just general forecasts. They are not going to be, they're not etched in stone. They are simply an overview of the general transits and energies currently at play to help us navigate. And certainly always honor your intuition and that's your most inner voice to guide you forward. And if I may suggest, just to do so in peace, because anything else just will zap your energy, and what good will come from that? All that does is upset the mind and the body and the spirit, and drains your energy and takes away from the ability to be creative and loving and kind and enjoy the beauty that we have the ability to enjoy, for those of us that have the freedom to do so. So that's the message there. All right, without further ado here, let's take a look at some details. I'm going to pull a card on the starfish spirit about, feeling delays, perhaps for some of you Virgoans, of the infinite possibilities. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Pardon me. First card out, we have the Ace of Swords. This is a very powerful energy, Virgo. The Ace of Swords speaks of the sword of truth. It is held by the divine, by God. God is the truth. Spirit is the truth. Now, it came up in the reverse, along with, some of you Virgons probably not feeling the infinite possibilities. There's a truth that you are seeking that you feel is delayed. That's in a nutshell how I'm feeling it for perhaps some of you, not all of you. Again, what resonates, take it with you, and what doesn't, leave it alone. You are seeking the truth within yourself, the truth from your higher self, God, your spiritual self. feeling that there are delays in obtaining that truth, but knowing that there is a truth. And keeping your faith in that is the key here. Whenever there are delays, they can be frustrating, but the message here that I'm intuitively receiving is to keep your faith in spite of appearances, in spite of what you may be feeling inside, where you might be feeling a little bit topsy-turvy of whatever arena perhaps you're feeling this in your lives. You seek the truth, continue to pray for the truth and meditate on the truth, and the delay will eventually subside. And you will bring the truth into your own knowing. It will come at the perfect time. And that is the message on these two energies at this time that I'm intuitively feeling. Clarifying the Ace of Swords in reverse, where you are, awaiting that truth of whatever that truth means for you. Could be for some of you within your body, within your mind, within your spirit, your well-being. Feeling that there are delays, you're frustrated. But stay in your peace. Stay in communication with your higher self, and that will help you roll with this current wave right now. And it'll help you to flow easier if you stay focused on your form of divination that you utilize to stay in your peace. And in doing so, you pull up the Five of Cups, to clarify the Ace of Swords, awaiting the truth, whatever that means for you. And some of you are feeling, saddened. You're feeling forlorn. The Five of Cups has to do with, you're feeling that your energy is low. And, you're walking with your head down, and, you can't see the infinite possibilities. And this could be a verification here, because you feel the truth, but you don't understand why you're not necessarily experiencing it in your mind. And perhaps it's because you're looking down. The numerical number 5, the Roman numeral 5, is in the science of numerology indicative of change. Fives have to do with change. And there have been perhaps changes within your relationships. When we look at that 7th house, and perhaps some of those changes have left you feel saddened. But, you're focusing on what you feel. Doesn't mean that it's happened, but you're feeling that there's been a loss. And what you're failing to recognize is that there's a new beginning right here with this castle if you just look up. And 2 cups right behind you here. If you would just turn around and look up and look at what you still have, the blessings that you still have. Those 2 cups are the cups of love from the divine. That's the truth that you're seeking. That's what you're seeking. To fulfill you, to obtain the infinite possibilities that you desire in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, in your relationships. This is very much a relationship forecast from what I'm intuiting, not only from what we saw mathematically in the astrology, but also from these tarot and oracle cards. You need to look up, Virgo. You need to look up and see your new beginning is right here with that beautiful castle. And, in order to get to the castle, you need to recognize the blessings that you have still within yourself, which are these 2 cups right here, filled with love, filled with the infinite possibilities, the blessings that you have obtained, the wisdom that you've acquired. Look up. And not only will you be able to see these values within yourself when you turn around, but you'll be able to walk forward in strength to your new beginning. And that's what the castle indicates. So look up, Virgo. Look up and embrace the change. 5 is change. And move forward. These are some of your recent past energies. So that's what this first part is suggesting. And again, this won't resonate for all of you. Now moving forward and looking at the antelope spirit, where you're really wanting to push things along, you know, and race towards that and find that balance, and you know, seek this truth that you're feeling is delayed or not understanding what the truth is, and it's leaving you feel, you know, very saddened and you know, frustrated. Once you look up and understand that balance will come when you seek through your own form of divination, prayer, meditation, whatever form of divination you use that is healing and uplifting to you. You have the Three of Wands. And there you are. You've looked up and you're moving towards your new destination. The Three of Wands is an action, forward, progressive, moving energy. And you're taking those three wands. These are the three wands of wisdom. You've connected with your spirit or with God, which is the Roman numeral number 3 in the science of numerology and spirituality. Has to do with God. This is a very spiritual number. And you're moving towards your castle. You still can't see it, but you've decided to take the first steps. And you're doing so peacefully. You're not battling with anybody. You're moving forward onto new horizons, and you're moving forward in a very healthy fashion. And you're walking away. Your back is turned to the sadness. You lifted up your head and you're walking away from the sadness. And you're moving forward and you're healing, not only within yourself, but within your relationships, because you're moving forward peacefully. You're looking at new horizons. That's that travel. Perhaps that's the trip that you're on. You're seeing, you know, sometimes a change of environment is extremely healing. And for those of you that are in a position to do so, I encourage you to do so. Don't mind, you know, if there's a few delays here and there, even with flights, as can happen. But enjoy the journey, because you are moving forward beautifully. To clarify, the Three of Wands, on to new horizons. Boom, we have the Queen of Wands. And this Queen is an energy of, well, the wands are indicative of fire. They are the element of fire. And fire elements rule the signs of Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. So you could have perhaps some of those energies within your own natal birth chart. And you are taking that fire within and you're letting, you know, you're fanning the flames to move towards the new horizons. And this energy is one that, you know, is being fearless in doing so. The Queen of Wands is fearless. And she takes initiation. She, he, these are not gender specific. The Queen of Wands, it takes that initiative action to expand and move towards the healing and the new destinations that she wishes to create. She's a manifester, and she has the sunflower here providing the life force, and she has her staff providing her with the power and the energy to do so. And she is moving forward fearlessly. And that's what you're doing, Virgo. You're moving forward fearlessly to heal not only that which you feel is needed within, but how that will heal, you know, any relationship that you have with another, be it personal or professional. It's a very positive and very powerful energy. Beautiful. And that's what you're currently doing. You know, the Queen of Wands, she takes action. And that's what you're doing, Virgo. You're taking action. You're understanding that a balance is required. You're trying not to be, you know, hasty about it, but you are choosing to move forward. And you are being supported, as the horizons indicate. Beautiful energies. And those of you that are, you know, feeling the need to still take some time out, or perhaps after you've taken action, then you will understand, okay, now it's time to let go and let it be, where you're now going to take a rest, which is what the brown bear Spirit would indicate taking some time out, hermitizing, meditating on the action you've taken to heal not only yourself, but your relationship with others. Excuse me, specifically bonded relationships within your marriage, within close associations. Clarifying the brown spirit. And you know what? I just realized again that number 9 having to do with the house of travel, the 9th house. It's feeling like it's going to be a beautiful healing time for you to connect with that energy of healing. Pardon me. Clarifying the brown spirit. Excuse me, Virgo, I apologize. We have the 3 of Swords. Just take a sip of my coffee here. I beg your pardon. Sorry about that. I had a tickle in my throat. Got all excited, Virgo, for you. Clarifying the brown bear spirit where you're taking time out is fabulous. We have the 3 of Swords in reverse. This is fantastic in the reverse because it speaks of, in the reverse, of letting the pain go. Whatever you feel has broken your heart in the past where you couldn't see the infinite possibilities, you know, desiring the truth, feeling saddened that you weren't perhaps feeling the truth within. You took action within yourself here presently, perhaps on a trip. You took action for some, you know, desire to look at new horizons and get a new sense of energy and refreshment and joy, moving forward wisely and peacefully. After that time of healing and praying and meditating about the concerns that you have, you're feeling the pain that your heart has experienced in the most recent past, whatever that means to you, 6 months ago, 4 years ago, 2 days ago. You're releasing it. You're releasing the pain, and for some of you, the pain has already left you. And this is very, very positive to see. The heartbreak that you had is subsiding. And that's because you're healing, Virgo. You know, a lot of Virgos perhaps, you know, had pain that was self-inflicted. That's another energy I just intuitively felt. Perhaps some of it was self-inflicted where it didn't need to have to be this way. But you learned from it, and that's the positive. You learned from it, you moved through it, as difficult as it was, and now that heartbreak is leaving you, that pain is leaving you. And that's positive, and that's healthy. Clarifying the 3 of Swords in reverse. Beautiful. We have the Star. And the Star speaks of a new beginning. And it's the full moon in Aquarius. The Star is a major arcana in the Rider-Waite Tarot. And it is the energy tarot card that rules Aquarius. And we just had that full moon in Aquarius on the 1st of August. And those energies are still playing out. This is Uranus. This is that wild card that I shared with you earlier in the astrology portion of the forecast. This is the unexpected, the unseen, what's being delayed. You can see now because you took the time to meditate and to pray about it and to heal. And the heartbreak has left you or is in the throes of leaving you. And the Star, which I liken to the Star of David, is providing you with an opportunity to begin anew. Beautiful, beautiful energies, Virgo. This is the opportunity to begin anew within yourself and within your relationships. Perhaps a lot of you Virgoans are looking at your relationships differently and understanding that to force something is not the way to go, but to just flow with it and understand that healing will come. Even if there's delays, healing will come because the divine knows that the healing that perhaps some of you need within yourselves is where it begins. Be the change that you want, Virgo. It starts with you. And I'm going to leave it right there. This is the forecast for Virgo for August, the first half of August 2023. It's been an absolute pleasure connecting with you, Virgo. I do hope you enjoyed the forecast. I will be back mid-month. to provide an update for the mid-month energies, commencing with I believe it's the new moon in Leo as of the 16th. I look forward to reconnecting with you, Virgo. Until then, enjoy the vacation. Enjoy reconnecting with yourself and reconnecting with your bonded relationships, marital or otherwise, and enjoy the healing and stay focused on the love. Congratulations, Virgo. Look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, Spirit and I Incorporated signing off for now.